Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Skiboard Time with Tim. As promised at the ending of the last episode, I will be discussing skiboard bindings and some of their various iterations throughout history. I do not have the extensive collection I desire to have, however, time is short, therefore I must spring upon it. We will start this evening with the FF Comp, a line of bindings from Line, which, although not the best, is better than some of the other options. For example, simply gluing your boot directly to the binding, or perhaps screwing the binding in. All the bindings I will be discussing this evening are bolted in appropriately with the 40 by 40 millimeter bolt pattern in any standard ski board. This allows you to move the binding between ski boards. Unfortunately, we do not have a wide variety of board options available, so you will have to look at other videos to see the wide variety of ski boards available to go with your wide variety of bindings. Refer also to the wide variety of ski board bags available to put all of your equipment therein. Back to the bindings, as I was saying, the FF Comp, although not the best binding, is acceptable. It is available in a classic black color of a composite material, not metal. Notice the options of good variability in the adjustment, an appropriate toe clip, although not metal again. The leash is not included and must be purchased separately. These are, however, dangerous and may damage your board. Notice the custom protective tape that has been put on the edge of this board for just that instance. So that is the FF Comp. Another classic binding that is available was from Canon, the TD1. Now, this binding is slightly a step up, being a combination of composite and aluminum construction. Notice that similar to the Comp, we have the variable screws for the adjustment as opposed to the holes that you have to move the base plates to. Notice the lovely anodization of the aluminum base plate in contrast with the black sole plates and the black screws. Notice also that this one has been mounted with an elastomeric base, which gives a very cushy ride, allowing supple flex of your board. So another option that is available of the more classic bindings would be the Snow Jam X1s, of which I had an example somewhere around here, I'm not sure. Gorilla Tape is also an example of an option similar to the super glue or other adhesives. I do not recommend it, but it would be, in an extreme case, an option. We have the we have the Snow Jam Extreme binding. Now notice the almost full aluminum construction, although notice the shoddiness of the casting. Really, this is not the best option and is only used by fairly low-grade ski boarders, generally with the name Jack, although I'm not trying to be specific. However, if this is the best that you can do, it's the best that you can do. We will try not to judge you too much. We will, however, cover that up as it is not seemly to be seen. Now, moving into the present day, we have the Reveling Receptor binding, which is available in a variety of colors. For this evening's episode, we have examples of red, black, and purple. We will start with the purple, as is appropriate. Now, the purple binding is obviously a flashy color and very nice. One of the specific properties of this color is that it can only be mounted on boards with purple in them. If not, it will simply become depressed and fail, leaving you flying down the hill without your board or your binding and potentially harming other human beings. Definitely not a situation in which you wish to find yourself. And obviously it is the prettiest color. Now, of the other two, we also have black and we have red. Now, I believe I have a black around here. Yes. So now the black option is for when you are in a stealth type situation. It is the most classic and elegant. Can be put together with a nice tie and suit if you're going for formal ski boarding. Notice that this is the full, proper, not only cast but then machined aluminum construction with the stainless steel bales and the double screw construction, making it very, very sturdy. Notice that this particular iteration has the socket head cap screw which is attaching it to the board, whereas some of the others have a flat head, which gives a slightly different feel as it's attached to the board. And then the other color that we have is the red, which I have an example. Now the red, again, really should be on a board that has red in it, so this is actually not an appropriately mounted binding. It is, however, the fastest color being red, similar to cars. So this will give you the maximum velocity as you are bombing down the slopes, which mounted to this board, which does not have red, means you will just die at a higher speed. Now all of these bindings that we have discussed are available as they are from manufacturers, whether brand new or in the case of the historic models, they may be available to you via your eBay or Facebook marketplace if you're into that sort of thing. But there is one other version of a binding that is highly to be desired, which is a custom binding. And I have an example of that right over here. Now this is an example of a wonderfully and ingeniously, I might add, modified binding, which started out as a bomber binding, which would have normally had the heel bail and toe clip. However, the owner of this, who is incredibly intelligent, I might add, was able to take this and modify it with a step-in type modification, allowing a full purchase of the boot into the binding for maximum control and stability. Notice also that although on the camera these might appear to be red, these are not. These are orange and match this part of the board quite perfectly. Therefore, this is one of the best setups possible that you have for your ski board or your ski board binding. That then concludes this episode of Skiboard Time with Tim. We hope you have enjoyed and that you will join us next time for my discussion of mounting screws and their various forms and iterations.